Question of the day. What video, if you remember what video was the first video that you saw of mine, and if you can't remember, which videos stick out in your mind as personal favorites? Trying to do some market research. I don't know why I'm making the finger sign. I don't know what this. Tends to donate money, but I don't know why. The question of the day part 2. If you know why this donates money, let me know. So, yes, question of the day. What was the first video you saw of mine? Or what was your favorite? Or, give me some feedback. What makes you follow me? Why do you like this beautiful disaster? That is a 311 song. If you're not familiar, 311 is a rap rock group, which now they've kind of more a reggae. But they're from Omaha, which is where I'm from. And like in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, that's kind of when they had their big period as a kind of a harder rock. They weren't harder rock, but they were rap rock. They were pretty good, I think. The early albums I think are still good. But Beautiful Disaster was the single off their album Transistor, which is a really good album and has a bunch of like really nice, chill, kind of spacey songs. A lot of people didn't like that album, but I thought it was pretty good. So if you're looking for some chill, spacey, kind of like vibe songs, check out Transistor. Especially I'm trying to think of like songs that are really good on there. There's one called Rub-a-Dub that I was always quite a big fan of. Anyway, so I'm thinking about videos. So I got a couple days off here, I don't work again until December 1st, and I'm trying to get some content going, so I'm trying to think of some video ideas, and I'm trying to obviously improve the channel, trying to do better, trying to give more tingles, trying to get 1 billion tingles here. And one of my goals was to have 24 hours of whisper content, and I think I'm very close to that if I haven't hit it yet. As long as I continue doing the whisper videos through the rest of this month, I should be there. I think I was pretty close even before November started, but I've done a couple videos that are like half-hour long, so I think we're there at 24 hours. So you can just hit the whisper playlist and it'll just go. And that's what you should do. Fall asleep and just let my videos play. Oh man, yeah, that actually would be really helpful. Anyway, if you have the data for it, if you have the Wi-Fi and everything. Anyway, so I'm thinking about some future videos. So a couple I'm thinking about. I mentioned ice rink stories because when I did my hockey rambling video, which got a lot of views, and I'm not quite sure why that one has so many more views than most of my other rambling videos. I wonder if it has to do with the title, or maybe people are just interested in learning about hockey, which is awesome because hockey's a great sport and you should watch it. But ice rink stories is definitely on the list. I'm gotta sit and brainstorm some of them. I'm sure that could just be a series. Just call it Ice Rink Story Time, because we're there for a lot of years. There's a lot of stories. I also was thinking about doing a words of affirmation one, which I think is a good evergreen one, which is one you can come back to often if you're ever feeling down. I think that'd be super awesome if not only am I putting people to sleep, but I'm making them feel better and helping them through emotional crises. So I gotta think about what would you say for 15-20 minutes that isn't repetitive. So I gotta do some research and see kind of what other people have done and see how I would put my own special sauce and flavor on top of that. And then I also have some ideas for more self-development ASMR. I know I haven't really been doing those, but that's definitely on the list of things. and that was, I mentioned I signed up for a class about going from collector to creator, and so that's part. You know, I read a lot of books, and so taking little chunks from the books and synthesizing it and dispelling it into ASMR, but then also for other channels potentially. I also have this lovely blue book. It has many ideas in it. So let's see, we got a lot of ideas here. Okay, so you know, we got like turning pages. We've got shuffling cards, which I don't really know how to do if I had like a magician friend. You know, pen tests, paintbrushes, drinking from water fountain. I know that was, I have a video where I drink from a water fountain, and I know that was popular and people wanted an updated one. But a lot of water fountains that are public are taped off. You know, you can't really use them. Various just tapping on stuff. I have like so many ideas. But a lot of it's just like tapping on this, tapping on that. I actually did make this one, so go ahead and cross that off. Drinking from a straw. So, you know, I have a lot of ideas. So, there's this, but thinking more in the talking head space of like, okay, what can I do? I've thought about doing bedtime stories. So really, I'm just looking for feedback from you lovely folks. What do you want to see? These are requests. What do you want to hear my hot takes on? Because I got hot takes. I know movie reviews was a big one. And so I gotta just start watching more movies. I watched Mission Impossible 3 today. It was kind of more just on the background while I was editing. And so I kind of picked up bits and pieces here. But Mission Impossible 3 is much better than Mission Impossible 2, in case you were wondering. But Mission Impossible 1, I think, is the best one so far that I've seen. I've only seen the first 3. I know there's like 10 of them now. And Tom Cruise is a crazy person because he does his own stunts, which, I mean, is actually, it makes him, I admire the hell out of him, because a lot of the stunts, like, would not come to pass, and very few production companies would ever let him do it, so he, like, finances a lot of stuff himself, which is really cool. Anyway, so I got that book full of ideas, and I also have this black book, which has more, this was always more for, like, serious ideas, so like book reports, 5 things you could do daily to be a better person, which I think that actually might be a good one. 5 ways to train your grip. Grip strength is actually super important. If you didn't know, I'll give you the 5 ways. You can crush things, which you can get like grippers. You can hold things or carry things. So like, you could just get like a backpack and put stuff in it and just carry it around for like 10 minutes a day. Like, you can pinch things. So, there's something called pinch plates. It's the exercise. So you would just take, so pretend this is a plate, and you would just pinch it, and then hold it out, you know, like that. So imagine, you know, if you had 2 like 5 or 10 pound weights here, it actually becomes very tough, especially if you hold it out at a 90-degree angle. So like, if I can't even properly demonstrate it, but you know, so if you're standing up, you can hold it to your side, sure, but then if you hold it out at a 90-degree angle, you know, out like this, or I mean, if you really want to go crazy, you could do this. You fire all your stabilizers up. So there's that one. You can extend, so like rubber band or like a hair tie, and then there's also levers. So think like if you had something really long, like a hockey stick, you know, so I do those with the hockey stick a lot, and then all that improves your forearm, improves your grip, and if you improve your grip strength, that carries over to a lot of lifts, so it's good for you. So that's on there. I don't think I have many more ideas in this black book, but I've got tons of ideas in my Google Keep. I here's one that just says, dream for years, plan for months, deliver on days. So, that's a good quote. You could do something with that. I have a analogy about self-improvement, which is like your life is, you think of life like a deck of cards, and you're playing a game, and you draw so many cards, and but you can stack the deck, so that's something, I have just so many ideas, and I'm like, I just need to sit down, I think, and write, or again, that's kind of what I want to use these whisper videos for going forward a little bit, is to kind of stream of conscious some thoughts on things. So maybe I just need to dig them all out, get them all in one place into note cards, which I have a note card system. I think I've showed it once before, but basically when I have ideas, I jot them down on 3x5 note cards, and then I stick them in a recipe box. And the idea is now I have a good grip of them, so I could just pull a card, and that's an idea for content right there. So maybe I just need to find all of them, and this is something I could do over these next couple days that I have off, along with finishing out my edits. Is just get them all in one place and then start kind of making notes on them. So that's not a bad idea for me to do. I also have more ideas on goal setting. I'm still honing in on my 2021 goals. Right now, I've got too many. Because I'm looking at, so off the top of my head, let me rattle off some of them. I want to try to ride bikes for 1,000 miles. I want to try to take 4 million steps according to my watch. I want to try to have 500,000 active calories according to my Apple Watch again. I want to fast for a certain number of hours. I'm not sure what that number is yet. But the fasts have to be so long to count. So I think 14 hours I think is going to be my minimum. And then after 14 hours, it'll count as a successful fast. Then I also want to make way more YouTube content. The goal this year was 500, and right now I'm at 260, I think, across 5 different channels. But one of them's a hockey channel, and it may or may not come back next year, just because I'm not playing hockey now, and I don't expect to be playing hockey until fall next year. So it's that channel might just go away. I heard Matthew McConaughey talk recently where he was like, I was getting B's in 5 things, and I wanted to be getting A's in 3. And I was like, oh dang, maybe I should be thinking about that and just focus in on 3 channels and just do that. Because right now I've got 2 primary channels, and then I've got 3 channels that I'm kind of working on. So I've got this channel, I've got a white noise channel, I've got a movie review channel, which has kind of been dormant since March. I've got a cinema channel, which is a filmmaking channel, that I'm thinking is gonna start curving more towards development, personal development for creatives, which I think is that allows me to kind of talk about filmmaking and talk about creative things, but then also talk about self-development, which I'm also quite interested in, passionate about. So I can just kind of combine all my little hobbies and just group them together. And maybe that does something, or maybe not, who knows. And then the other channel was the hockey channel, which is me just playing hockey, and I was like, if I could figure out how to make even $1 from the hockey channel, I could write off all my hockey expenses as tax write-offs. So I bought a GoPro, and I was like, okay, because I spend $1,000 a year just on ice time, so that'd be a pretty cool write-off. And it would add up, over time. Anyway, so that's one of the goals, 500. I think 500 is a good number. It's doable. It's a little more than 1 a day. Which I've been doing the daily videos here. I've been loving it. Been having a great time. We got some people that are following. I don't know how many of you watch every day or how many of you watch. It seems like there's a good number of you that are dropping comments, which I love it. You're watching a couple a week at least, which is great, and I appreciate the hell out of you. I'm also thinking about how many shoots I can do, both unpaid, like personal shoots and work shoots, and I think maybe just like a number of shoots might be a good idea. Because then I can be like, okay, you know, if I do 100 shoots in a year, like that's good, 100 shoot days. You just kind of have to quantify what is a shoot. You know, anytime you pull out your camera, yeah, I guess, theoretically. So there's that. I'm thinking about paying off debt, because I've got some debt. That it would be really nice to be rid of it, because that would lower my overhead, you know. That's like, right now it's, I don't know, probably 25% of my expenses every month is just debt payments for like my surgery that I had earlier this year and credit cards. So getting that out would be super awesome, because that allows me to, you know, if my expenses are lower, then I don't need to make as much, and then I can focus more on things I enjoy and have fun with, like this channel, which means, you know, daily videos every day. So getting that debt paid off, huge help. Increasing my net worth, increasing my stock investments, because, you know, then I can, you start to become financially independent a little bit. Oh, that reminds me, talking about stocks was something I did want to do on this channel. I keep hinting at it, but I've got some ideas for that, which I want to do. I know I want to do what I call the investment ladder of risk, is kind of what I'm calling it. But essentially it's like, okay, like, you've got some money, like, where's your appetite for risk? Like, is it very low? Well then, on like the negative risk is like, ooh, you could put it in a savings account. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, if it's in a savings account, I'm getting some interest. But realistically, you're probably not getting enough interest to offset inflation, so you're actually losing money. So don't do that. You should have enough in a savings account to cover like a month. That's it. Because in a month, you should be able to liquefy more, you know, assets like stock and stuff. And maybe 2 months would be like extra precautious in the event that, like, you have something like what happened this year with like COVID, like tanking the stock market. You wouldn't want to sell your stocks at that point when they're at the bottom to pay off something like, say, COVID happens, you lose your source of income. You want that. That's what that savings account is for, that cushion, you know. And realistically, is another COVID going to happen? You know, I can't tell you that. I think, though, especially if you're younger and your job is more secure, less time necessary. But, you know, hey, 3 to 6 months is what the experts recommend. So who am I to tell them they're wrong? I have credit card debt. Don't listen to me, man, you know. So that's like step 0. That's like being on the ground. That's like if you're climbing a ladder, you're laying down on the ground. So like up from that would be like CDs, certificates of deposit, which is like an investment vehicle you get at a bank where you give them money and it's locked up for a certain period, and they give you a higher level of interest on that. But you have to wait until the expiration date to take the money out, and if you can pull it out earlier, you just lose the interest that you would have gotten. So it's like having like a savings account. It's still pretty liquid. So that's what I would say. Have 1 month ready to go, locked and loaded in cash, and then you have your other 2 to 5 months in CDs. You know, then I don't know if I think CDs still don't beat inflation totally. And if they do, it's like just barely. But it's still better than having it just in the savings account, just sitting there. So that's something to think about. And then up one ladder from that would probably be like bonds, which are super safe, but again, don't have a great return. Up one ladder from that would be like index funds, which is just like a organization that buys a lot of shares. So when you buy one share of an index fund, you're buying partial shares of like dozens of companies. So you're very diversified from just buying one company, which is good, easy. Up from that would be like blue chip stocks, like picking like Coke or Union Pacific, like OG companies that like have just mountains of cash and can make no money for like 2 years and they wouldn't go bankrupt. You know, Coke, Union Pacific, Microsoft, companies like that. You could also probably put like Tesla or Amazon on there at this point, because like they're not gonna go bankrupt anytime soon either. So then we're also thinking like up from that would be, I would say, I think the next step up from blue chips would be like picking individual stocks for like growth stocks. So like maybe not necessarily investing in like startups, like brand new companies, but investing in smaller companies where like you know a little bit about the industry and you know like these guys have something special going on because of XYZ. Maybe they have a new product coming out. So like if you know a lot about cameras, for example, and GoPro has something that's going to change the market. GoPro's right now, it's pretty cheap. It's like $6-7 a share. So like if you're like, okay, this new camera they got coming is going to blow people's minds, which at this point it doesn't seem like. It seems like camera tech is starting to become mature. There's not a lot of crazy new stuff coming out, it seems like, in the last 5 years. But if, so for example, for the sake of argument, this could be anything, you know. If you knew what GoPro was working on, or you had some like new insight of like, oh, you know, these action sports are becoming more and more popular. People are going to be buying the GoPros to do the action sports. I'm going to invest in GoPro in 5 years. You know, that $6-7 stock could be worth 15. You know, you double your money in 5 years. Like, that's pretty good. So that's like the next step up. Up from that would be like, actually probably on the same level would be like income investing, which is where you invest in companies specifically for dividend payouts. Because then you're getting a dividend every 3 months or every month, depending. And then kind of like a side up slightly step would be like real estate investment trusts or business development companies, which are companies that basically a real estate investment trust essentially buys real estate and then leases it and then collects money, and then, you know, that's how they exist. And then a business development company buys equity in startups. They're like a bank, but like some startups can't get enough money from banks, so they go to these business development companies and they sell portions of the company to them. But the key thing with business development companies and real estate investment trusts is that they get tax incentives for paying a dividend that's over a certain threshold. So if you're income investing, you can get very high dividend yields from real estate investment trusts and business development companies. So that's like the next level up. And then the next level up above that would probably be like options trading, like selling options, like selling covered calls, which is when you own 100 shares of the stock and you essentially bet someone that it's not gonna go up, and they pay you for that. Or you sell cash covered puts, which is when somebody owns 100 shares of stock and you bet them that it's not gonna go down. The flip side of that is buying calls and selling calls, or selling puts, buying calls and buying puts, which is where you think, you know, stock is going to go up or down, and somebody bets you like, no, it's not, so it's the opposite, but it's much, much riskier on the flip side of it. Because if you lose selling options, you either get shares or you get money, but if you lose buying options, you're just out. Your money just goes to the other person, and that's it. So, and then up one level from that would be what's called pattern trading, which is what you might think what day trading is, where just like you see a stock, you buy the stock, you hold it for the day, then you sell the stock. The trick with pattern trading is you need so much money in your account, otherwise brokerages will lock your account down because it's risky for the brokerage. So it's like $25,000 is the government. The government mandates this rule. It's $25,000 in your account, and you can't do like a certain number of trades in a row. So like what they call pattern trading, which would be buying a position then closing your position in a single day, is a pattern. And if you do like 5 of them in a week, then they lock down your account, and then you're like really limited to what you can do. So that would be the next step up. But if you knew, like, you're like, okay, this stock is going up, it's gonna, you know, there's good news. Oh, we lost the light. I think it might be nice. I might try that. Oh, plug, where are you at? Hold on, it's coming. Is it coming? There we go. Right back. So I was thinking, man, maybe I could do dark videos. Anyway, so pattern trading, not something you want to do, but like, if you know Tesla's gonna go up, or you think Tesla's gonna go up, you buy Tesla in the morning, it goes up $1, you sell your positions. You know, if you had enough money that you could buy 100 shares of Tesla, you made $100 that day. Great. But again, you gotta have $25,000 in your account, which if you're buying 100 shares of Tesla, you definitely have. Anyway, and then up one level from that would be like investing in a business. So like, if you were like, I like photography, I'm gonna buy a camera and become a photographer. Like, that can be very lucrative, but you might also spend $10,000 in camera equipment and get no jobs. Or you could maybe be like me, turn it into your career, and you know, you make $40,000, $50,000 a year. It's pretty good. Which the return on investment on that is insane, but obviously you can lose. So, that's the investment ladder. You're welcome. I just kind of explained it. I'm gonna write down lights out video too. I'm gonna forget what the hell that means. I said I wanted to do words of affirmation. Because I know that's a love language and I need to practice it. So question of the day part 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. Words of affirmation. Like, what do you got? What do you got for me? Give me some tips. I'm new at it. So, but I want to be hitting the love languages. You know, so that could be a video by itself of like love languages and knowing your love language. I have a theory that I think you give and receive in different languages. Like how you give love and how you want to receive it are not always the same thing. And I think maybe your parents are a model for one of those. So there's that. What else do we got? I have so many videos that are just sound videos. I have the box over there. I said pen tests. Someone mentioned tapping on plant leaves, which I think could be. I think that could be a good one, especially with this is not a great plant for it, but like my big spider plants or my peace lily, I think would be pretty good because they got big fat leaves. What else do we got? I could teach you a little bit about cameras, like the basic exposure triangle. I think could be a good one. You know, some camera ASMR, just nerd out. I've thought about roleplay. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm on the fence with it. So don't think it's gonna happen, but it might. I might play around with it, see how it works. I'm almost out of water. I was gonna make a super long video because I noticed that my videos that are like a half hour or longer tend to get more views. So I'm thinking like, okay, I need to start hitting 30 minutes. What else did I have in mind? That's a lot of them. Without going into my phone and like pulling up Google Keep ideas. Those are kind of the ones I've been thinking about lately. Oh yeah, so we were talking about my goals for 2021. And we got off on like a 20-minute sidetrack. But yeah, so it was like the fitness ones, the earning more money, paying down debt, you know, that's one. Number of jobs done. I was thinking maybe getting back into playing guitar, and seriously like making that a goal. I've been thinking about like commenting on like friends' posts and sending nice messages and trying to just connect more and reach out to people and be a better, it sounds gross to be like be a better networker, but also like checking in on people legitimately, like I'm very bad at that. I'm kind of a Sasquatch friend where like I just appear places and everyone's like, ah, oh, did you? Yes. So there's that. There's maybe some decluttering goals, getting rid of a certain number of items in my apartment. I probably still have, I think I wouldn't be unconservative to say 1,000 items, that I could just throw away and be fine with, depending on what you consider an item to be. So there's that. But yeah, so I got a lot of ideas still, and I hope you'll give me some more. Yeah. But I'm out of water, or about out of water. I've been real thirsty lately. I've been dehydrated, so I need to keep up that water game. Yeah, so if you got ideas, things you want to hear me talk about, rant about, I think I'm going to do some of my favorite movies. Get some more of that movie review ASMR going. And just try to tell me what you think about the channel. What can I do better? I maybe need to get a survey going. So, anyway, that's all I got for you lovely folks today. I hope you're doing well. And if you're not, well, I hope that turns around for you very soon. If you watched this far, hit that like button, drop comments, subscribe if you haven't. I'm sure you have at this point. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate the hell out of you, and I'll see you tomorrow.